Y'all back at it again. Why not spark the doobie doo? Happy Moon and Scorpio day. You feel me? The moon phase right now is in the position of Scorpio. So, y'all said, let that be known. Shout out to the black. You feel me? Shout out to ashes, dust to dust. We gonna relight it up right now, though, bitch. Ashes to ashes, as in everything dead that happened, no matter how emotionally connected you are to it and trauma, it happened in the past. Dead and gone. I used to love that song. Like I said, it's the reflector, here to reflect what you choose to neglect. Today's topic, and I've been wanting to do this topic. I saw the niggas. YouTube, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what song this is. Bluetooth, you can't hear nothing. This is slow. It just sound like mumble. Oh, flunked out ass gonna try to use the AI to try to just determine a song using technology. Oh, flunk. As long as no human can decipher. Now, the fuck? I really want to go. Nah, I'm good. Now, you feel me? Today's topic, like I said, gonna be speaking on the whole phrase. I haven't done this in a minute, but when people say, quote, it takes one to know one, unquote. So let's get into what these things really mean. Now, my foundation on all of this is the fact that we all can develop a certain perspective more on the outside looking in and not so much into it where now you feel like you have to fight for this. You have to be unclear because you're too heavily invested into these thought processes and shit. And so niggas gotta understand things are more than just the words. So the reason why I'm speaking on this is because you gotta look more into things. It's not to say look into a word all the time and to look at what that means. No. It's just to know that you can develop a certain perspective based on your own when you go back to yourself and looking at the world for what it is. And then you'll develop based on yourself how you bring down the expression. As in, we always know up is up and your highest self or whatever. Not even highest self, but you know you got a spirit and a soul, which means it's something beyond the body. So, you know what I'm saying? You can say it's up, down, what you gonna say, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Anything. But yeah, like I said, this is on, and this actually has deep meaning to it where we have to take these things together and look at them for what they are. Sometimes we're altered just subconsciously for how we look at things. So, and we always think whatever we're saying, depending on how we're saying it, aka as a spirit, we're always doing things and looking at perspectives. Depending on how you're saying it, you think whatever you're saying is something that you're pointing at. What whole time it took you to even say that. So that means it takes one to know one. Now, that was just an example. Now I'm gonna get into the whole shit of it. Anytime we're talking about it, right? Like I said, don't be thinking I'm just taking the damn word and just trying to go. No. I ain't no motherfucking scientist Google person and shit trying to depict words. I'm trying to show you what it is actually behind the word. So it is just something right? How people say it is what it is. What is it? It is whatever that you're referring to as the person saying it. So if I say, oh yeah, it's over there, whatever I'm talking about is what it is. And the person that I might be talking to might know what it is based on what they put onto me as far as the words of, oh, where is this thing? And I'm gonna say, oh, this is over there. It's over there. As in, it is what it is. That item, place, location, thought, feeling, all the way down to physical. It's lit. You feel me? it's lit right now. You feel me? So you feel me? You feel me? Uh, I like this. I like this setup right here. This gonna get the attention. Show that fucking face. Shout out to shout out to this whip right here, man. Now, it is just what it is, whether it be a location, place, a person itself, individual itself, or a thing, an item that's having to be utilized. So, if it is, I mean, my bad, I'm over here depicting it is what it is. If it takes, right, whenever we're dealing with it takes, that means whatever that you're referring to, person, place, or thing, it takes. So that means it's attracting or it's picking it out itself based on its own state of being or whatever it's into or whatever it feels secure with knowing that this is what it truly thinks and this is how it is productive and stuff and universally sound. Universally saying itself in the universe outside of itself where you interacting outside of yourself. The whole time, even if you don't interact, you still be interacting with the universe, even if you think you project out into the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, universe, space. And motherfucker, certain beings see that. That might not have a body. Some people see it in physical body. But anyway, how do you think they came up with these movies? Now they don't know exactly the perspective and the moral and the theme behind exactly what they're saying, but they do know that it's something that can fucking have a body that's not here. Whether you think of it negative, positive, whatever whether it can talk to you in a physical way with words or whether you think, you know what I'm saying, like all of these type of shit. As long as you know it is what it is, where that is true. But however you develop your frame of mind on it is how it's being done, and that's what's gonna really tell the tale of if it's genuinely for everyone or if it's an open thought or expanded thought. As in, you can give this to someone and it's not as limited. It's only limited to you because you said it, but when they heard it or it got impacted by it, they can get inspired basically because it's all about one to teach the other. We gotta help, teamwork, bitch. At the end of the day. So it takes one. So when you relate or share or get something to make you feel secure, because taking ain't bad, it's just taking and it's just pointing out a thought or something, whatever comfort zone, whatever zone, place, that's just the quantum field, how we convert and say that to point out what we're saying, which is really, bitch, the subconscious realm, you know what I'm saying? The energy realm, whatever you want to call it, the mental realm. So it takes one, which one is really you being whole as an individual. So if whether it be you or whether it be whatever you're referring to, if it takes, so whatever you're referring to, you took that in your perspective to say these things or to have that opinion, whether it be positive or negative. And I'm gonna give y'all examples of what I'm trying to say. If it takes one, that means you took that to relate, to know that, this is you. And it's like, that's the whole piece of the pie itself. It takes one. Two, so the fact that you know that it's your whole mind frame, now it takes you two, so you related with that. It took you to even say that. It took you to even grasp that. To no one. And knowing is just when you are the one that you were the left field person to think to yourself and think in your own, you know what I'm saying, single-minded, not single-minded, but more, and you know what I'm saying, truly your perspective. One. So that means it took you to know that. So what it's basically saying, whatever you refer to, okay, whatever it was that you're referring to, well, whether it's accurate or not, it took you to know that. Whether you're not a part of that, but you know about that energy. And energy can always be duplicated, but that shit is hard to get rid of, period. So as in, we're always making more of what's already been derived. We're just making it inside of that place, that field of existence. We're just deriving it, depending on you as a space perspective and how you become aware and start making visuals. Bitch. Bitch. It takes one to know one. Now, examples. You got people, right, that will make judgment. This is freestyle. I went through a lot of situations to see this, but you know, that would put on some judgment. So if, for example, you at the store, let's say you at motherfucking a liquor store. Yo ass goes and another person sees how you might have interacted with the goddamn clerk. And, you know, maybe decides to say something, or maybe they don't decide to say something. So whether they say something to the clerk when you leave, or they say something to you like you're being rude. Now, that took that person to know what it means for a person to even be defensive or rude seeming or off or not righteous, because they're not actually connecting to the outside situation, the surrounding. They're more, you know, going left field and thinking more of themselves in a sense. So this nigga basically talked to himself in a sense. This is all subtle things. These are all subtle. Talk to himself like, wait, this is a situation I recognize. This is a situation I want to defend, and I'm going to take action. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what's actually happened, but in some way, somehow, that they had to have some of these spaces of thoughts. And whole time, he, you know, okay, let's say he confronted you. So he's like, dude, you're being a fucking asshole because this, and this. Now, remember, I'm not even saying that one or the other is right. I'm just saying that the simple fact that a situation is a situation. So the fact that things were even known to be said, and the person's being negative, where it's like, oh, you're acting like this, an asshole. Like, don't do that. Like, who are you to do that? Something like that. It's like, to you as an individual, you might not even be thinking of it like that. It's not to say, oh, so just think to yourself and no. Like, you know, everybody else's opinion is like, oh, it's just theirs. No, it's just to say you wasn't even aware of it for this person to really even come at you in this extra type of way. And so it took him to even know what that means to be an ass in the first place, to even know to come at you and say these things, if that makes sense. It took, so that situation, whatever the thought that triggered him, it took him to take that responsibility or the thought or the obligation or just the agreement to the situation to even participate itself. Like I said, negative or positive, don't matter. To even know that, oh, I know what that shit is because I am one of those things. I projected it, so mentally he projected to already know whatever he was seeing, that's also a representation of him. You can't you can't think you're separate from something you're a part of, in a sense. Now, this could be my 12th house talking a little bit. All right, I know my 12th house could be flunked out. No, but do know though, subconsciously everyone knows that if you're there, you're there. No matter what side you was on, no matter what role you was playing, you're there. So you're a part of the whole situation. So it took you to even be there, to even interact itself. And that's what it means as far as the spiritual meaning, as far as where it just comes from before the many different experiences, the many different thoughts, the type of frames of mind, the mentals you can derive out of that. Before that, which is basically you're observing, which is just a space to be in to even think, almost like the privilege to be here to even do something afterwards. That's God. That's godly type of shit if you want to use it like that, privilege energy. And you know what the world told you about, work hard and bust your ass too much, you know what I'm saying? But so it always takes a person to project to even have where they're coming from, to know that that's what they even projected, because whatever they're projecting, they're there to even know about it. Know what I'm saying? Now, there's certain ways where that doesn't always, come into play, and there's certain ways where you aren't exactly in it, but you're able to look at it from an outside looking in. Now that took you to know that, but when you spiritually wise, you know that, oh, you're not in it though. You're not speaking from being there. You're speaking from an outside looking in, all the way up to that level, starting from there. So now it's clear, and it's not fabric. It's not looking like you're using just certain things to pertain to it. It's a spirit. So it's just your individual truth. You feel me? That's what people say. It's your truth. And that's truth. It takes one to know one. Anytime a person's calling a person, bitch, you're gay as fuck and you're trans, or so, no. Now, like I said, you can look at it from an outside looking in. And what I mean by that is you could just speak on, like, look, I don't hate on it. I don't, I just know damn well you born with this. And, it's no point of, like, you know what I'm saying? You be rational at the end of the day. It is what it is. Like, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when people, cast judgment just out of hate, or just because they feel in a certain way, or just because, they want to uphold whatever they think or their mental, whether that came from friends growing up, how they grew up, you know what I'm saying? All that type of shit. So it's selfish reasons, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you will see people, they'll call people things, or they would cast judgment, like I said, go through situations and be like, see, those type of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say we're talking about dogs, right? I deal with dogs. You know what I'm saying? We got people out here talking about, yeah, man, people are people are so judgmental. Like, if I want to have this type of dog around these dogs, it's okay. Or you got people like, oh, I don't like people's dogs being so aggressive. People need to take hold of their dogs. All of that shit. Bitch, takes one to know one. You must be in the energy of not clearly even giving a fuck about certain shit that other people care about, where you would think it's, you know what I'm saying? It takes one to know. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's almost like, just check yourself. It's not to say you can't say anything. It's not to say just think about yourself too much. It's just to say, oh, damn. Now, when I'm thinking about me even participating before, I know damn well that, okay, whatever I'm feeling a grudge about for something else I'm paying attention to as a spirit, or my observation, and I'm deriving thoughts from that observation. So you could be looking at people too much. You know what I'm saying? You could be observing others, or you could be in a spoiled state of spirit. So you're waiting on something, so then you always just complaining. Whatever it is. Whatever the fuck it is. You gotta know that it takes one to know one. So you must be doing things, so as in you don't gotta be so mad. Try to actually convey. Now, if the situation happened and the person actually be fucked up, then all right. But if you come in a most truthful way where you're like, hey, and it's not to say do some love fucking words and shit. It's just to say, as a spirit, how you can come where it's not so tough, grudgy, eggshells walking on. You over here thinking about something, but you're not showing all them damn, man. Look, just be true and just say it. Say it, don't spray it, good gracious. Say it, don't spray it, because some people be spraying it and y'all say it too hard. And every now and then you got people that are saying, when I make the example about a dog shit and people complaining about a park or something, you got people like that would just outright strongly say some shit. They would strongly say some shit, and whole time they know that they are still fuck, I forgot my point, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But basically, they know goddamn well that, they aren't so witty and in the details of certain shit like they are in this situation, just because it pertains to them. So that's what I mean by it. That itself, it take one to know one. So you must be playing that role, like I said. So knowing this, you will be able to go through situations a little smoother, and be a little more light about it, as in be truly your truth yourself. So come from your true perspective, how you can observe the situation, all the way from how you observe your thoughts and come up with that type of shit. Not how it's fabricated to you think you're supposed to be like that, this, that, man. No. You created your own body, bitch. You know goddamn well how you want to fucking swift through space and go through your motherfucking worlds, and when to access what and when to blend and when, you know what I'm saying? Damn. Bitch. People be flunked with that damn energy, man. They just be always in a state of being of just talking shit, always like wanting someone else to kind of like get what they saying. They just talking about some fuck shit because they mad. All that bullshit. Stay protected in this bitch, man. It's the reflector, man. I think that's all a nigga had to say about it takes one to know one. Well, how minutes long? It's been 22 minutes. Yeah, it takes one to know one, man. Shout out to my readings, you feel me? I got my other business going on though, with my dogs and my mini services with my dogs, my pet friends. But it's cats too and shit, but mostly it be dogs, cause people be having dogs. But yeah, hey, I hope y'all are getting up on your shit, solidifying yourself, and shit, just embrace change, bro, especially right now. It's heavy change energies right now, and it's like heavy emphasized. So, takes one to know one. It itself, person, place, thing, takes it, related, it grasped, it took what it had to secure itself, because we all need to secure ourselves. One, it takes you to even be in that environment. It takes the whole thing. Two, again, you being the whole, you are relating from that whole perspective. You just got it itself outside of you, and then you know that you're the one that's left field. You could perceive it like it's others being in the wrong, but it's really you being in that spirit. To know, one, now you know that, so you can either take, so like I'm giving you different octaves or different vibes of how you can take that, because some people look at it like, oh, well, that's something more outside of me, so that means it's others that's doing it to me. That's how they get confused with the witchcraft, with the words and the spellings, like the ending part. Takes one to know one. So the to know one part be fucking people up, because they forget about the it. because they think that we are it, and it's like, no, we're using it. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. Like, you're stupid. But that don't mean you're stupid. It just means whatever the situation, whatever energy's playing out is stupid. Because, 2 weeks from now or 2 weeks before, you wasn't even thinking like that. So that means we just sweeping through space, utilizing things. So I think people get confused right there. I probably should have started the video saying that, but I'm a slow motherfucker. So, and plus, that's a little too deep to start off the video. Because if I were to just say, people get confused because they automatically are assuming, damn, why the fuck this shit look like this? I don't like that. God damn. They automatically assuming that certain things ain't what they is, basically. Oh yeah, they're gonna be already assuming like, okay, what the fuck? Because I would say like, oh yeah, it takes one to know one. It's just most people being in this, they don't remember that the spirit ain't just your mind or your desire or your imagination, aka things that give you life and keep you pushing. That's not the spirit. So if I would have started off with that though, people would be like, what? Now what that got to do anything? But I did transmute it into it. So that can be an object, that can be a place. Shout out to Uriel. That could be a place, because everything is things. And we gotta really take that into account and start there. You can't say I walked through the goddamn store, but I had a goddamn object like a gun on me, and oh, I don't know why this certain situation happened to me. Bitch, you fucking took a goddamn gun though. You feel me? Like, you can't act like that's not what you did. So that's why you should look at it like from the spirit like that, because you carry things and objects, and sometimes it be looked at as thoughts that you carved into something that you can use as an object. You know what I'm saying? Or it can actually be a thing, which is the thing is something you put energy into. You know what I'm saying? So we can put energy into a space, carve out an image of it, and it's just something that just is. And some people get attached to things. You got crackheads, so you can get attached to that crutch or that mental that you created to keep you secure. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I need to know that it's the spirit ain't none of that. And that's how we're always gonna live, because we're here. Being here is a spirit in some way. Now, we trapped in a lot of different forms right now. Don't get me wrong. So it's hard to even see that for most. I get it. Fuck you people, because at least try. But we're here. We still here, and you're always gonna be here. So, now I'm not gonna always be here though. You feel me? Because this joint shit, man, I'm done with that shit, man. Nah, create a new world, bitch. The universe, God said, man, we might just have to split up timelines or something, like how people talking about. Not saying that they said split up timelines. People think it's just mini timelines, but that whole shit, that's what I mean. It might be something like, you know what I'm saying? People stay where you are, and hey, we're trying spirits. But so teamwork makes the dream work. It's just not as big enough to make the whole change. It's just big enough to make a new promised land or world that we can interact with. And then maybe later on through existence, other life can make that bigger, maybe. Or do other things that we've been doing for the past goddamn long time. Long eon. But yeah, so that lets you know that it takes one to know one. Takes you to project, to know that any other judgment you're coming up with is still from your perspective, no matter if it's right, wrong, justified, opposing, whatever the fucking case is. Even if you're trying to do it out of love, all that shit, man, it takes one to know one. So don't be too much of any of these energies. Just use it for what it is. Takes one to know one. And it is what it is, bitch. Yeah, it's the reflector.